I love my choppa, and I think she loved me. Hey guys, I thought I would follow up with another video because it's been a long fucking time. If I'm being very honest, it's been a very long fucking time since I made one of these. I went on a streak where I did it like every day for 5 days, as one person with ADHD does, and then I disappeared for like 2 weeks because that's low key when it's like having ADHD. Like you get really excited about a concept. You rebrand and then bitch you get bored in a week. I think the only thing right, I'm right here. Focus on me. I think the only thing that like has really stuck with me throughout these years is exercise, and that's because the idea of having a fit, big, fat, juicy, bouncing, jiggling butt is like enough to like keep me going. Even though like that's not a thing that like personally I will receive prob because I've got those genes that it's like, oh baby, like cool your head. Like you have no fat butt gene in this family. Okay? Your aunts have BBLs for a reason, babe. Stop trying. But I'm gonna keep trying to get that big fat juicy butt. Yeah, so I thought I'd come back on here and start talking. I feel like a lot has changed since last time we talked. I feel like recently I've been having like a lot of emotional breakdowns, but I actually think that I know why. I think it's because I did a blood test, found out I had low iron. Okay, hear me out. This is a process. I have low iron. I've been having really weak periods where they're like it's like not shit for like 3 days. And I was like, that's so weird. Oh, probably because I'm fucking anemic. Oh, maybe it's that. Look at my eyelashes. Oh my god. So I started taking iron. Shit fucks my stomach up. Like bubble gut to the max. Looking like I'm 9 months every single night. Anyways, but my hair is growing back from it. Like I was like, look at that. I was like balding from drinking matcha. I drink matcha with bond of the iron. Bitch, it was balding me. My hair's growing back, but now I think I'm about to get my period. And my uterus is like, oh, you're gonna get your period again. You know what else you're gonna get? Rage, depression, acne, and anxiety. Yes! Yes! Oh my god, yes! So recently I've had a couple hyperfixations. First, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. This is like, okay. Hi, I'm actually right here. So focus on me. Have you guys ever had an experience, like not to sound like a bitch, have you ever had an experience where like someone's not getting your cues of like, you should leave my house now. By the way, you should get the fuck out. I recently had someone that I was like, oh yeah, spend the night, please. Like you're more than welcome, which is true. Usually when someone spends the night, you either make plans to do something the next day and part ways, or you like are like you leave at like noon. You like leave like early. Like you leave like in the morning, like, hey, thanks for letting me spend the night because we spent the night together, you know? And they stayed at my house until 6 p.m. the next day. And I'm like, so like, what are you doing today? And they're like, I don't know. To the point where I had an appointment. I had to leave and I just left them at my house and they stayed. I got back and they were like, hey. I was like, hi. How are you? And it's not even in a mean way, like, get the fuck out of my house. It's more of in like I have to poop really, really bad. And I'm actually so poop shy. And you're at my house. I have like really bad OCD contamination. Like public restrooms to me. I hate public restrooms. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. It's the same thing as like when I sit down on that toilet, I cover it with layers of toilet paper. And all I can think about is the other butts and the other pee that is touching my legs that are from other people's bodies. Or when I go to a restaurant and I'm eating and I'm like, how many people have put their mouths on these forks and spoons? How many people have tongued this cup? I'm drinking my dirty, dirty, dirty floaters in my water cup, by the way. Don't ever look at the water in your cup at a restaurant, bitch. There's shit floating in it. And I know that because I used to work in a restaurant. I actually worked in multiple restaurants. Guys, these are the nails right now. I think it's such a cute color combo. Wait, focus on me because that's not neon pink. Why does that look neon pink? In person, it's more mauve-y. Like, it's darker. It's not neon pink. Anyways, I think it's really pretty because it's like this, like, you can't even fucking tell. It looks like puke green and fucking bright neon yellow. I mean red. I mean pink. Oh my god. Can I talk? I used to work in a restaurant and I remember taking these damp dish rags and wiping every single fucking cup. Do you guys want to know something embarrassing? I used to bite my nails a lot and I was a food runner for a little bit. And this couple watched me bite my nails and then grab a dish and bring it to them. And they were like, that's fucking disgusting. You are fucking disgusting. We want a manager. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't touch the food. My hands are clean, but you're right. I should have washed after biting my nails. You're dead ass right. Fuck. Anyways, I worked at a restaurant, which was really fun. It was a Spanish restaurant, and I was the only fucking white bitch in there. And I live in Florida, so everyone spoke Spanish, so they were always talking shit about me. Like, I should have paid attention in fucking Spanish. No habla español. Habla español muy pequeña. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? ¿Dónde está el baño? Ah! Culo. I think that means butthole. I don't know. Anyways, I remember one time my dad told me that, by the way, my adoptive dad told me that he spoke Italian. So I told the entire school that I could speak Italian. And then I memorized one phrase in Italian, and it was telling people to an Italian. And I would just, no, I think it was shut up and suck my. And I would just repeat it over and over again and be like, yeah, I'm fluent. I'm super Italian. Took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% white. I was like, who knows? Maybe there will be like a little bit of spice in there. If spice is Irish, okay. If spice is German and Scottish, oh, Wiener Schnitzel. Not a professional, guys. Wiener Schnitzel as fuck. Oh my god. So, as I was saying, I used to work in a restaurant, and it was really, really fun, like crying in the deep freeze all the time, smoking a cigarette with the line cooks who would hit on me even though they were like 50 and had kids my age, and sneaking food and getting fat. That was highlight. Loved that job. And I had the coolest manager, and I remember I'd hit the dab pen in the bathroom, and one time she came in after I hit it like 20 times. Bitch, there was vapor. It was closing, so like we were closing up, about to close everything fully. So I was like, let me do this before I like tie all the fucking 20 million patio chairs and tables together. Let me get booted so I actually don't want to die while doing this. And then she went literally just like that. I'm like, yes, you can go home. Okay. She didn't fire me though. She was just like, it's a lot of smoke, girl. How many hits did you take? But she had the biggest, fattest butt I'd ever seen in my life. And she was like, my boyfriend's a personal trainer. She showed me a picture and they were both jacked. And all I could imagine was them just, whoa. Calm down. Anyways, yeah, so I haven't had the most exciting week, but I have gotten a actually I haven't made a YouTube video in a fucking long ass time. Let me go look because actually genuinely I think it's been way over, I said a week. I'm like downplaying it. It's definitely been more than a fucking week. How long ago was that? 3 weeks ago? It's been almost a month. I've been starving you guys. You skinny bitches. Oh my god. But perfect.
I have so many new pets now. I have, I believe, 8 regal jumping spiders, 1 tarantula, and a Pac-Man frog. And I've accumulated those over the past month. I think I talked about in the previous vid that I had one. I fell in love. It was too low of maintenance that I was like, I need a million. It's like, oh, I feed you once a week, I spray your cage once a week, and then I stare at you longingly and never get to hold you. I think I think I need 12 of you. So I got 8 and then a tarantula, and then I was like, let's up it because I'm getting bored. Pac-Man frog. And guess what? It takes me literally like 30 minutes a day, not even 20 minutes to take care of all my animals. And then, not including my cats and dogs, obviously, because those are very high maintenance pets. I actually train my cats to run on a wheel, and my Pomeranian loves to go on walks. So I have no choice. But for my exotic animals, it's about 20 minutes a day. And then once a month, it's about like 30, changing out substrate, cleaning out dead bugs. Not even. And I've been loving it. I think I'm going to get another animal. I'm thinking about a baby tortoise. And I think I'm going to put it right here in a little enclosure. Oh, can I just say something? I think there's something mentally wrong with me because my type A attention to detail, but my type B brain, they are constantly butting heads. Fuck. Oh, and by the way, I was supposed to film a video 2 weeks ago, and I did. I was replying to your guys' comments and DMs. And I'm not gonna lie, I ended up crying a lot. I ended up crying a ton in the video. If you guys actually genuinely want to see that, I mean, comment and maybe I'll think about it. It felt so extremely vulnerable and so it almost sucked the life out of me because it was like I was really like laying my soul bare and just crying. And that's something I'm very used to, but for some reason, like hearing you guys like ask me for help in these ways and feeling like such a responsible party now, I I felt like what I was saying like it couldn't even touch a hint of how I wanted to help, if that makes sense. And like the things I wanted to say and the complexity of explaining. Because I do feel like there's so many things that go into healing from so many experiences. Recently, I've been going through quite a lot with compartmentalizing the things that have happened to me in my life because there's this complexity to having a difficult upbringing because you have a very difficult family. Um, that happens where your grandparents were not the greatest to your parents, and your parents never learned and they didn't know how, but they did better than the previous generation. Did they still do a good job? No, but they did better and they kind of did their best at their capacity. Low key, is their capacity extremely low? Yes, but it's like that for everyone, I think. So I've been having this internal battle recently where it's like I feel I almost feel guilty. I almost feel guilty being upset about the things that happened to me. I almost feel like I have this habit of invalidating myself, making myself feel like, oh, it's like brush it off. It's not that big of a deal. I think that I grew up in that way, kind of, where it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, let it go. And it would be like really big stuff. And there would be no room for conversation. It was either like an underlying tension throughout the home that no one wanted to address that would make me feel so uncomfortable. And I'm such a confrontational person. Posture check. Perfect. I'm such a confrontational person that I'm like, okay, if we don't talk about what's going on right now, like I genuinely think I'm going to crawl out of my skin and throw up. Like I can't handle this. So I knew that was always a coping mechanism for me. Like confrontation for some people is super scary. For me, it was survival. To survive in the home I was raised in, it was hashing things out. And I was always the one to bring it up. And it was never like a healthy conversation. It always was like a fucking smackdown. Like a smackdown. There was no happy medium of discussing and communicating properly. And I feel like there's this struggle where it's like I have always been slightly defiant. So I know as well, I was never a perfect kid. I didn't put myself in the best circumstances in the best places. I got myself into a lot of shit, but like there's responsibility on everyone, you know. And I think throughout your healing journey you go through so many phases where you're like, it's all their fault, they're the parent, they're supposed to know better, and that's true. But also at the same time, like, was I helping myself at all? Not really, girl. And as you get older you kind of realize that. Am I still angry? Yes, I'm angry for the younger versions of myself, but now like I'm starting to like let go of anger, and I'm mourning a bit. um and now that I'm doing better in life, you know, I'm like living on my own. I'm stable. I'm finding hobbies. I'm making friends. I I find myself relating, this feels like gross to say, relating to my trauma less, which sounds insane. And I talked to my therapist about this because for a while, like, it was consuming me. I think it was the circumstances that I lived in. Like, I was constantly with people who caused that severe trauma, who caused the PTSD, that, like, it was constantly consuming me. I had crying breakdowns daily. I was always highly emotional. I never felt like I could trust anyone. Everyone felt unsafe. I constantly was in fight or flight. I was constantly hyper vigilant. I was always overwhelmed. And then I moved out. It was a really long adjustment period. I felt depressed and scared, intimidated, alone. I went through a lot of grieving in moving out. And now that I've kind of gotten the groove of like a routine and my friends and my hobbies, I've come to this point where like sometimes I forget. And that's a good thing. Like sometimes I forget about all the shit that happened, and they feel like less of a big deal now because I feel so much better. I feel so much more free. And then I'll have hard weeks, of course, where I remember it. But it feels, this is the part that I don't like. It feels fake. Like, it feels fake. There's a complexity, obviously, complex post traumatic stress disorder to yes, to CPTSD, where it's like you are so stressed and overwhelmed throughout your entire life. You compartmentalize, you disassociate. Nothing feels real in general. Everything is already so confusing. The brain fog is crazy. That, like, I think back to these things and I'm like, holy fuck, wait, that did happen. That's actually low-key crazy. And it doesn't feel like a part of me anymore. Like, I feel so separate. I feel so separate. Part of me feels like it is robbing me of the experience of feeling things, and it's numbing me a bit. Like, feeling so disconnected from like my story feels numbing a bit. And I think recently I've been on in the process of reintegrating, but not reintegrating to associate myself with that aspect, but reintegrating to be able to process that aspect of me, because it's so important to process the things that have happened to you. And at the moment, I feel like I'm not actively processing. If anything, I'm kind of burying it, which is very weird for me because I'm a big feeler of things. And it's almost numbing me out in other aspects of life where like I'm getting numbed out in general. I'm getting low-key a little irritable, a little angry. But also I did a blood test and it said my testosterone high. So maybe it's just a little bit of like I can't talk, roid rage. Because I'm just like a big, beefy woman. Anyways, that's another thing I've low-key been struggling with. It's like, bitch, okay. So riddle me this. Wake up in the morning, 5 a.m. Okay. Cook yourself a high protein, well balanced meal with fiber. Go to the gym, get 12,000 steps. Write in your journal, read, continue education, work your job. Okay. Have friends, make plans, keep track of your schedule, take care of your animals. It's like there's so many expectations of things to do. My goals recently have been to lessen my to-do list, to make it smaller, because I have this tendency, which I think is a coping mechanism, TBH, where I'll be like, let's fill up as much as we can on our to-do list so we don't have to address a single thing in the room. Yes. I'm also addicted to shopping. I'm not gonna lie. And recently, obviously, you probably know me from other socials. Whenever I wake up and I want to buy something for myself, when my closets are full, I have shoes on my feet, I have food in my fridge. How better could life get? Are you fucking kidding me? My bills are paid and I'm not concerned about paying my bills. That is actually insane in this day and age because I wasn't even there 3 months ago. And now I'm there. And so now when I get the urge to buy shit, I buy shit for the shelter and I donate money, which is crazy, by the way, because I'm getting insane amounts of hate on videos of me donating money and donating clothes and donating essentials because people, it's all men, by the way, that are doing it. Oh my God, no, who would have thought that? But people, for some reason, are really bothered and just get super weird in the comments and just hate it. They're like, a woman doing something good for others, it's because you're a slut online. It's like, okay, maybe I'm a slut online, but you're a loser in real life. Let's see you donate, Big Papa. Oh, wait, you can't. You broke shit because you're the one who's. Never mind. Anyways, and that's been curbing my cravings as of recently because I get to see the people who actually need this shit. My favorite is like when the little boys will come up to my car when I'm pumping gas at the gas station they'll be like, "Hi, like I'm raising money for school or for gym equipment and I'm like, "Yeah. Okay, let me donate." One thing I fucking hate is that little boys this day and age, not to like speak well on men or anything, but get treated, of course, like women inherently get treated like shit in general at all ages, but I feel like are treated as older than they are and are everyone's being robbed of a childhood a little bit. Everyone's growing up a bit older, and I don't think it's fully their fault. I think that parents and adults expect children to mature and grow faster than they actually do developmentally. And they do in a social setting and then they don't in school because it like pick one. Like I think that it hinders them a bit academically because they're maturing so rapidly online. Their brain is so consumed by societal norms, what people think, what people see, how they come across. Like, there's so much for them to worry about now. Like, I thought it was bad when I was younger. Okay, listen, I had an Instagram and I took pictures from Pinterest of decorated cakes and I posted hundreds. I remember when I turned 14, I moved to Florida because I lived in Cleveland, Ohio originally. And I had to like make my Instagram cool. I had to go on, first of all, I had an Android and it was in a pink and black bedazzled phone case. So cons. So cool. And I would just play Cookin' Mama in that bricks game where they bounce and hit the bricks. Loved it. And took pictures of cakes and posted them on Instagram. I had to delete like fucking 1,000 pictures of cakes because I wanted everyone to think that I was a baker. Like I like loved making shitty little cakes and I wanted everyone to be like, she knows what she's talking about. Those are her cakes. It's like a filtered cake photo. Oh, right. That's her cake. Anyways, had to let my dog in, but yeah, imagine like me at that age being like, oh, I want them to think that this cake is my cake that I made. And now at this age, they're like, what do I look like and what eating disorder should I develop to please the masses? It's like that must be really hard. And was I also debating an ED when I was younger? Yes, I had one. But I feel like the pressure is just so fucking real now. I have a younger sister, and every day I'm like, fuck, like this is so, it's a hard day and age to grow up in general. But like I was saying, I have a crazy attention to detail, and it comes in the worst form of me noticing the most disgusting things ever. Like I said, toilet seats, cups, spoons, forks. One time I was in a car and someone was filing their nail in front of the AC and it was blowing back by me and I wanted to throw up and I said something and they're like, how'd you even notice that? Or a guy with dirty feet was sitting on my couch and rubbing his feet together and all I could think about was the microscopic skin cells that were probably shedding all over my soft couch. So now I actually can't sit on it until I clean it. That's how bad it is. Um, but back to the trauma thing because who doesn't love talking about that? I think I have a difficulty as of late with feeling guilty, like about like recognizing the shitty things that happen, because it's so easy to remember the awful things and it's hard to remember the good things because they low-key outweighed each other. And it feels unfair, but then the other part of me feels so protective over myself that it's like I'm genuinely really struggling with that right now. Now you guys get a peek into my psyche. I did, my hair's so greasy. I'm actually about to shower. I did get this little blonde streak. It's not blonde, so don't come for me. Let's see. A bleach streak in my hair. She said for a couple sessions, well, I think she said for this one, it's just going to be this brownish color. She toned it. She said she toned it down so it wouldn't be brassy. And the next time I come back, we're going to bleach it again and it's going to be white. I thought it'd be fun. And if it's cute and cunt, I think I might get like my little baby hairs in the front just a little bit white. I don't know. I'm like very into change right now. Something's in the air. I'm sniffing something in the air. Can you guys tell I'm getting my period by the cystic pimples that I'm receiving on my face? So painful. Something's in the air though. The air of change. Something's happening in me. I'm like, I got the other side of my nose pierced, but that's a whole story. Let me tell you that story. I got the other side of my nose pierced, and as you can see, one is bigger than the other. It's just the way the jewelry is. This one's much smaller. This one's much bigger. I hate it. It's really bugging me. I love the tiny one. This is from BVLA. It's very expensive, but I thought I'll have one for the rest of my life, and it should be a gold diamond. It's $200. Oh, this one was like, I think 80. And so the first place that I went to is called, actually, I'm not going to say the name. You can look it up and you'll find it. Is a tattoo studio. No, not tattoo, piercing studio in my city. And it got shut down. I didn't know this. I kept showing up and being like, no one's here. The lights aren't on. No one's answering the phones. What the fuck? So I look online because it was kind of last minute for BVLA piercers to see if they had the same jewelry so it could match. And I look and, oh, there's another person. So on the way over, I'm like looking at the reviews. I'm trying to call that other place. I'm looking in the comments and I see that it was like negative. You know when people like post stuff on social media about a company and then it gets like review bombed? It got review bombed. Wait, what's this about? And it's a police report. What the fuck is this? And it says that he was at a children's play cafe doing nefarious things. And that his dog on video and his fiance found it and found out he was cheating with the other piercer at the studio. The dog was like a husky mix. I'm like, oh my God, I know why this guy got shut down. He actually needs to die. And he was the one who pierced my boobs. So I was like, he needs to die. So I go to this other piercer. And she's like, what brought you here? Oh, I was looking through the BVLA website. This is where I went before. And she went, you went there? I was like, yeah, I just saw like, and she was like, no, like I used to work there. I was like, as what? And she was like, no, I'm not one of them. She was like, I left a while before it actually came out, but we were always trying to wonder, like, we're always wondering why that dog had such behavioral issues, why that dog was always acting the way that it was. And then that came out and the dog got rescued and it made so much sense, but there was so much crazy shit going on there. I was like, oh my God. Like, I feel like a lot of tattoo studios and piercing studios are low key like that. It's like, y'all are kind of pervy. Something else I've been like watching recently has been the Lindsay Clancy case. I was super into crime at a young age. My mom would always have me and my brother in bed with us very young 'cause she was a single mom, and we would be watching the worst, most gruesome trials on um Nancy Drew. No, that's the book. Nancy Grace. I get confused because they're both bad bitches named Nancy and investigators. Nancy Grace on TV, and we would watch like Snapped and 2020 and Women Who Kill. And we watched all of them, NCIS. And so now that's kind of my comfort show. Hate that. Kind of my comfort show. It's not that good for me mentally. I actually find that when I watch true crime, like police cam footage, sad content, it really fucks me up mentally. I'm like way too sensitive, but I just had to keep up with this one because it's just, I mean, it's so gut wrenching. It feels like it's like the most, I can't even. It is so sad. It is so heartbreaking. I want to punch that. I want to punch the district attorney in the face because she keeps wearing those bows. And like my take on that is like, why are you? She said they're in honor of the beautiful baby girl Cora, who wore a lot of bows, in honor of her. But it almost feels a little bit malicious towards the mother because regardless of how this case goes, if she did do it, I don't think she's going to end up being guilty because she was done so dirty. So dirty. She was mentally unable to care for those children and she was left alone. And she would never purposefully, I don't think, in a sane right of mind, hurt her child. So it almost feels vindictive that she's wearing that bow. Like, girl, like take the bow off. Like that's so I feels mean to the mother of those children to be like, and I'm wearing a bow to represent your child that you killed. And she was like, I was drowning and suffering. And also, the evidence is like suspicious. Like, there's a lot of shit that's like not adding up. I don't know how it's gonna go. And I'm still developing an opinion, but honestly, like, it's kind of blowing my mind. I'm actually watching like the legitimate court proceedings. I hated how the psychiatrist was acting on the stand today. It really bugged me because she just seemed like she was so inconvenienced with having to get questioned about the medication she prescribed. Like, okay, this is your job. This is what they tell you when you become a doctor or a nurse. I know this. I know this personally. Is you have to chart everything, right? Everything like you will go to court one day because you could. And she's like, you're misinterpreting what I wrote down. It's like, okay, so that's actually your job to take notes that make sense and are easy to interpret. Like that is essential to the job. Whatever. I don't want to get into this because it's going to piss me. It's going to piss me off. It is literally going to piss me off so bad. My fucking God. Anyways, I hope this keeps you guys fed for a little bit. Let me know if you have any ideas in the comments down below of what you want to see. Maybe I'll release the crying video if you genuinely want to see it. Maybe I'll post more of my spoods. Maybe I'll do like a spider haul or like a pet haul. And maybe I'll do a vlog one day. Honestly, I have some fun stuff coming up soon. So maybe I could do a vlog. Wait, before I go, I have to tell you one story. I was at my local crystal store. I'm at the checkout. It's a very, very small space. And a girl from across the room goes, "Oh my God, are you that girl from TikTok?" And yells it to the point where the fucking 10 people in the room all right at me. Oh, me? I was like, yeah. I was already super anxious. So I was like I have such a hard time controlling my tone. So uncomfortable. So I was like, yeah. And she was like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, I actually don't disclose my name. And she was like, no, no, no. Like, what's your tag? And I was like, fat, stinky, ratchet goblin. And she's like, no, girl, like, say it loud and proud. She was so sweet. And she could tell that I was, like, I think a bit anxious because everyone was staring at me. And I was like, oh my God, like, and it caught me so off guard. And then I felt like such a bitch after because I, like, wasn't as, like, kind and receptive as, like, I wanted to be. But I was, like, very, like, taken aback. Like, like, I don't. Sometimes when people are like, I'll go to the mall and people will be like, girl, like, I love your videos or I'm a big fan. I have people ask for pictures. But like every single time they're like, are you that girl from TikTok? I'm like, who? Like, where? Wait, you see a TikToker? Where? My God, it's me. What? I never thought I'd be like capable. Guys, I'm itchy. I never thought I'd be capable of like people actually like loving the shit I say. I never thought people found me funny. I thought they'd find me annoying and incessant and too much. And I was completely wrong. I feel so lucky to I feel like I'm being perceived the way that like I feel about myself. Like it feels like it aligns now because I feel like people always try and tell you like who you are and how you're like, and it just never feels good because it never feels like you because you're around the wrong people. But now it feels like I'm really like being understood very well, which I love. Yeah, I hope this keeps you guys fed. I'm gonna try and not make it 3 weeks again because that's a long time without a long piece of this ass. So I love you guys so much, and yeah, I'm wishing magical childlike whimsy on your day. Love you.